update.
It still isn't updated yet. No, it's
Oh,
changing.
it's changing.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's just, can we turn the Prevco back on again?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the Prevco
Oh, sorry.
and not the Super.
Yeah.
Right, one at a time.
Yeah.
Just check it. So Prevco's on, but Super is not.
Okay.
Just gonna turn on the downlights for a sec.
Roger. It's in the
Yeah,
Prevco.
so it's a Prevco again, yep.
Alright, keep it off. What's the reading?
I can't quite hear you.
Yeah, Eric.
What's the reading on
there
that?
we go, gotcha.
The reading is 273. Is
Okay.
your ground fault, you mean?
Yeah.
273-261K.
That was worse than last time, right?
You might be
Yeah, a
equivalent.
wee bit.
Let's just keep it off.
Roger.
Yeah, we can
now.
check it again when we get a little more squeeze on it.
Okay.
Did you want your super on again? Or
Yeah, please.
Roger. Super's on.
Okay, thank you.
We'll see if this one has a ground fault on it. Maybe when we're done with the super stuff, we can check our gauges.
Yep. I'll turn on your...
Oh yeah, that's right, the
let's
craft.
do this too. Yeah, so the super looks good.
Good.
That's good to hear.
So it's only craft power and not the valve?
No, I turn it all on. I
Okay.
even turn that on.
Okay.
Amy, there might have been a
Just
little
gotta wait
whoopsie
for
where I got
comms.
into port 1, because I think they turned it off when
You got comms here.
the pump was still
Okay.
running.
Okay.
And let's turn on the craft valve.
Okay, coming on.
And want to shoot for, well, let's just wait for one more minute here.
Yeah.
This on.
200 or so.
Yeah, there it is. This mouse is so weird. I gotta
Yeah.
fix it. Oop, wrong one.
Other way.
Can we turn the gain down just a little bit on the Argus Mezzo?
Okay. Let's try that.
Can I steal the bubble camera back now?
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty high right now.
Nice.
We can secure this super now.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yep,
Roger.
no problem, thanks. All right, you want to go for
25?
25? Sure.
Let's do it. Super secured. So Josh, you said that when you do that, when you turn on the craft, that you only do it for the first 300 meters?
Yeah, I try to get it on sort of as soon as I can. We were
Okay,
probably a little late. And then, yeah, after 300 meters, it's
usually okay.
not going to change. That's your biggest change, right?
Okay. All right.
So what's our estimated blue water time today, this morning?
At the moment, 95 minutes.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. I think we can secure the craft now. Just turn off the hydraulics.
Roger.
Yeah, the valve. Yeah.
What's your guys' go-to movie? You know, like when you watch over and over again.
Ooh. Night at the Roxbury.
I did the Roxbury. Wow.
Or super, yeah. Probably not the Roxbury, actually.
I don't know if I really have one. Maybe watch Big Lebowski and Oh Brother Where Art Thou quite a few times.
Mm.
I like Coen Brothers movies.
Oh, Brother Where Art Thou I'd watch a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't
That's
know
a
if I
great
could
movie.
watch Big Lebowski a ton of times.
Really? Oh, so many good lines.
There are a lot of good lines.
Go all the original Star Wars.
Yeah, and I'm kind of burnt out on that one, I think, when I was in university.
Watch Star Wars all the time instead of studying.
Kind of the, you know, the Sunday morning sort of slow wake up movie.
Slow wake up
Is
movie.
it?
You got enough Star Wars feel for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back row, any thoughts? What movie would you watch for 90 minutes over and over again?
That's a hard call.
Say again?
Well, we have 90 minutes of Blue Water, so I was wondering what you'd watch as a movie, you know, classic movie length. What's your go-to repeat movie?
Oh. I don't know. You know, I used to watch some movies over and over and over and over again, but I don't like doing that anymore. But, and I haven't seen many recent movies because I have kids and just don't get to the movies that
So
often.
Finding
So what
Nemo.
kids movies have you seen? Yeah.
I actually have seen Finding Nemo many times.
Yeah,
Not
There's some
necessarily
kids
on
movies I
purpose.
like.
It's just like on a lot.
yeah.
It's very available
Very available.
and watchable.
My favorite thing, I like to watch shorter things too because with kids, like you can't really get a whole movie in at once. So I've started watching Adventure Time. Have you seen that?
I've
It's
seen
a
that one.
cartoon on Cartoon Network. That's my favorite. I bought like all 10 seasons before we came out here.
Wow. Wow.
I haven't actually watched any of them, but usually if I go away or something, that's what I watch before I go to sleep because it just makes me happy. I love it.
Hey, Amy, this is Julie. Can you hear me?
Hi, Julie. Can you hear me?
How's it going? I can
Good.
hear you.
Hey, Julie. This is Josh.
Hey. Hey, Josh. How are you?
Not too bad.
Hey, Amy, did those Niskins get fired at the surface last night? Or early this morning, I guess?
I don't know. I assume so. But Sarah went to bed right before I got up. So I haven't
Got it.
spoken
So
to her.
She probably handled it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just so you know, that first filter from today, filter 1, might have a little bit of bottom seawater in it because we were testing out ground fault and the pump was running. And so we might have gotten a little bit of bottom seawater, but not much.
But
I'm excited to go to the octopus garden today.
Yeah.
me too. I just had a phone call yesterday with Janet Voigt, who's like the deep sea octopus lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm going to send her an email. I promised to send her an email when we were heading over that direction.
Awesome.
So do we know what kind of
So
octopuses these are?
We don't. She told me some fun facts, though. She told me that the reason they're in that position is because they want all of their legs to be touching a hard surface.
Oh.
Yeah, so we should look for that today. And no one really knows the relationship between them putting their eggs where there's this fluid flow coming out versus just putting their eggs somewhere hard, you know?
Yeah.
They're
I've been
upside
talking
down
about
with their legs on the surface instead of
That's
Yeah,
right.
sitting there,
they kind
though.
of cover the eggs to shield them.
Yeah.
And they also have to kind of blow oxygenated seawater over them as well, which can be a problem, as I understand, if they're in fluid flow and it can become anoxic or too warm. They can start to respire too quickly, and then they might die quicker. It takes them like 2 years to hatch their eggs.
Wow.
And yeah, they just kind of fade away during that time, and eventually they'll die. It's really sad.
You know, because we've never seen them swimming around. We've only seen them, you know,
Right.
in the rocks like this.
Yeah.
And even last year, they were just like this. But
Yeah.
but you'd think with all these octopuses around that you'd see some moving around from place to place. But
Yeah.
it's like they just spend their whole lives sitting there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Maybe it's just the time of year that we're always seeing them. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I think
Well, I
after...
mean, they-
oh, go ahead, Julie. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they come to the hard rock to lay their eggs.
Right.
You know, there are some, we've seen some predatory behavior in some other vent sites, but I think, mainly they look for a place to lay their eggs and die.
Yeah. And the males die after they mate.
Wow.
So it's a really sad life that they lead. Yeah.
It's true for a lot of animals, though.
Yeah.
They, like, their entire year or days of existence are just about, raising their next generation, and then they die. It's, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, Amy, I noticed in the Deer Dar that Sean really wants his fluid sampling to be last on the next dive.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you guys have talked about this as a group.
Yeah, we talked about it this morning at breakfast.
Okay. So basically all 3 of the fluid sampling teams are going to have the same problem as Sean, right?
Yeah.
Because you're all getting samples on this dive and you're all getting samples on the next dive.
Right.
So, and it makes sense operationally to probe the highest temperatures, fire the IGTs, and then do all the super sampling. So, while, it just is what it is, but I think you're all kind of in the same boat for these last 48 hours. It isn't just Sean. So, if you have a chance to talk to him about that, the next dive, we're just going to one place and doing all the fluid sampling, and that's probably all we'll have time for.
Okay. All right, I'll talk to him.
Go to that. Yeah, I mean, we're going to go to that new site to the north, and we haven't taken a single temperature there.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to spend time probing temperature and taking a bunch of samples for the microbiology, for the chemistry, and everything else.
Okay. Awesome. How exciting. The transits last night were so beautiful. It was...
Yeah, they were really cool.
Like, I could just sit there and watch that for 3 hours.
Funny you say that.
We had a full house at 10 o'clock last night. They were like everybody was on the couches in there watching it.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty neat features.
And we haven't seen any like evidence of garbage or anything yet this cruise, have we?
Not that I recall.
I haven't seen anything.
Not on the
That's
bottom.
good news.
Sad to say is unusual.
Yeah.
Did notice a weird floating cushion or something the other day, though.
Yeah, I saw
on the
something like a
surface.
sponge or something.
Since I have you guys captured, and there's no one else here really. I mean, Vincent's here with me. But we also need to know when you guys want the vehicle on deck Friday night, so we can plan that dive accordingly.
Oh, okay.
So is Nicole in there?
She's not here right now. I think we're at.
Okay.
I think we're at 30. I want to say 36 or 38 hour transit, and then I'll have to. Nicole will have to double check what time we'll have the pilot booked for.
Nicole's doing an interaction right now.
Yeah, so we'll
Okay,
check with
so-
Nicole and get back, but it's probably it was probably a similar on deck time to our kind of mode 1 scenario.
She had mentioned
that's
yesterday
what-
8 p.m., but
Yeah, 8
that might
p.m.
change.
Okay.
That's what we had been planning for, but I'll try to remember to put it in our formal communication to the ship, but also once Nicole gets on, maybe I'll just ask her.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
we'll
good.
make sure to ask that.
Thank you.
Squid.
Let's go for it. Yeah, we're happy to go wherever.
So, Julie, why don't you tell us about your time with Bill Nye?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. So he has this new podcast called Science Rules, and it's co-hosted by Corey Powell, who's a science journalist. And so we just recorded like an hour-and-a-half show in his studio, and there were actually people who called in, which was fun, and asked questions, mostly kids. But we talked about everything you can imagine Bill and I would want to talk about, like origin of life, whether or not life exists in the universe outside Earth, you know, what life is like at the bottom of the ocean. We disagreed on a bunch of things, which was really fun. And, so yeah, it'll come out sometime later this summer, I think.
Oh, cool. That's where do we see that one?
It's a Stitcher podcast, but you can like get it on your iPhone.
Cool.
Or whatever you use, you know, when
Yeah.
it comes out. So you know, they record more material than they need.
Yeah.
And you know, it was kind of comforting because they asked me a couple of questions where I was like, well, hold on, I need to think about it, and I had the luxury to do that because I knew it could be pasted together.
It'll be fixed in post.
Yeah, and then I went to the Explorers Club in New York, which was a first for me, and hung out with a bunch of artists. It was very strange.
That's awesome.
But it was fun. Yeah, yeah.
What kind of artists?
Well, so the Explorers Club has a whole week of events for, it's World Oceans Week, as you guys know. And let's see, one of the artists was Maya Lin, the architect who designed the Vietnam Memorial. And she has some really amazing landscapes and this really cool project she's been building called What Is Missing, and it's all about the sixth extinction that we're undergoing right now.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's a little depressing. But she's also trying to collect stories from the community, like stories from parents and grandparents and great-grandparents about things they remember that they don't see anymore.
Oh.
To like have this archive of stories of our natural world.
Wow.
And then try to present positive solutions moving forward.
That's great.
And then there was Brian McFarlane, who's an artist, a painter from Jamaica, and he's actually been to sea with, well, he worked with Jill McDermott, who I know has sailed with you guys, and visited us on a cruise once to the Mid-Cayman Rise, and so he created some works based on deep sea vents, which are really beautiful. And then Joan Jonas, who's like a multimedia artist. She does a lot of performance art about the ocean. She showed one of her pieces, which is cool. And then DJ Spooky, a.k.a. Paul Miller, who's a composer and musician. And he had a violinist with him, and he recently wrote a composition about his experience in Antarctica. So I was like the most straight-laced person there.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
I presented with my artist friend who we've been working on this project for Ocean Memory. So it was really cool.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were visited by some fin whales yesterday. They were here all day long. They were so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think I dreamed about them last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't have any more details, but I do remember them popping up in my dreams.
Vincent and I knew we were going to have to be in here most of the day for the next 48 hours, so we watched Deadpool. Not quite the same as watching fin whales.
That's awesome. How's the house? Is it the same house that we stayed in before?
Yeah, yes, that's the house I'm staying in this time. You know, there's shades, and
awesome.
We now have furniture.
Yay!
Yeah. What do we have, Vincent? Yeah, we have a lot of things you did not have last time you were here.
Great.
Oh, we have chairs.
Oh.
We have chairs and mirrors. Very
wow.
exciting. The big truck from the furniture store came every single day.
Oh, wow. So he's still trying to get it all fixed up.
Yep, definitely.
I can't imagine the amount of money it takes to do all that.
Yeah, we can wait to see where we fall. We'll probably make one move towards the contours. We can see how it settles out. We're still at 900 meters. So it looks like Argus, if it follows parallel, it looks like Argus will be along that second contour away from the octopus garden. Yeah, so we can just see how it looks.
Are Tamara and Dave there at ISC?
They're at lunch right now.
Oh, okay. I keep anticipating getting on XGDS and getting all my photos of the sample sites and how easy it will be.
Yes, well, I've been taking lots of frame grabs, and I'll
you
dump
have?
them in the Google
Good.
Drive.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is very easy to do in XGDS to review the dive.
Yeah.
Got a bit more sway up here than we did yesterday.
Yeah, the wind's up just a little bit. Probably like this for most of the day, it seems like. Slightly different direction.
So Josh, how does the weather you guys had compare to our trip to Axial Seamount in 2013?
Yeah, not quite to that level. But yeah, unfortunately it was still a pretty easy call not to go. It was up a fair amount there for those few days that we were standing down. Everyone really wanted to go. We had that little dip for maybe what turned out to be, I don't know, 6 or 8 hours or something, and I'm actually glad we decided not to go. It would have probably put us into a bit of trouble. So I think we made a right call there. And then I think, yeah, I think we made all the right calls. When we got in finally after those days, it was still up pretty good, but we've been studying the weather so much that we felt pretty confident that it was going to fall off. So we got him in, and then fortunately we were right. And by the time we got back on that dive, everything had settled in. So yeah, weather's always a tough one, but yeah, it wasn't anything like that ride on the Falcor we had, that's for sure. I think that
was like an easy call, right?
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
Like, hey,
I think we almost ended up in Mexico. We were like 300 or something nautical miles away from the launch site, but I think the time we turned around and started heading back.
Yeah, I was convinced my first cruise as a chief scientist I was going to kill everybody on the ship.
Well, you had the room way up top too. I'm surprised you spent any time there.
Yeah, I didn't spend much up there.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was in the anti-gravity room up forward on that one.
Curved room.
I still remember that recovery that we did when we called that dive, and then we had to recover. It was pretty hairy.
Oh yeah, where the wind like dropped to 0 and turned 180 degrees and then went to like 30 knots.
Yeah. I just remember, and you have to stand right out on the fantail when we were running the winch. And I just remember having like all my foul weather gear on and just like wind pelting me in the eyes while I'm trying to haul the ROV in. It was pretty crazy.
You guys know any good sea shanties? You've been out here long enough, Josh. You look weathered.
Not going there tonight.
She just called you old.
Yeah, I know. I am.
No,
I
called
him.
him
You know, it's
experienced.
turning into the old guy around here.
I think I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, we still got about 50 minutes or so to the seafloor.
Okay.
Yeah, the weather on that cruise that Julie was talking about, we were on the Falcor and we were having like sustained 50 to 60 knot winds for like a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, huge waves.
And you still launched?
No. We were blown down to where I can't even remember where we were diving. It was somewhere. Where was that spot,
Axial
Julie?
Seamount.
Was it at Axial?
Seamount.
Okay, we were talking about that last night. So yeah, we were at Axial.
And the captain was like, well, we either return to shore now or, we ride it out. And then the forecast got much, much worse, and we realized maybe we should have gone to shore, but then the ports closed. I don't know if you remember that. Like, Newport closed, Astoria closed.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
we
that was
couldn't go
literally,
back.
we were captured by that storm. There was no way we could have gone
Yep.
anywhere.
Wow.
And then we ended up, like, yeah, so we were at Axia, which is like, we were saying last night, out from Astoria, essentially. And I think by the time we ended up turning around, we just rode the waves south. And by the time we ended up turning around, I think we were in Southern California. We were like almost
my
at
God.
the border of Mexico.
I blew you
And
that
then
far.
yeah, this was like days of just getting blown down. And then we decided, then we needed to turn around because we figured in another 3 days or so it was going to be maybe diveable again. So we turned the ship around and steamed like, what, 2 or 3 knots for 3 days
Oh my gosh.
until we got back up to the dive site. And then we did actually get back in the water for a dive or two.
Colleen's here with me, Josh, and she was just reminding me how I was so seasick and sleeping in the library, and she kept bringing me seltzer water and pretzels.
Yeah, everyone was pretty bad. Like I had to reverse sleeping. I couldn't sleep in that room because it was literally anti-gravity room. Like I would lay on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't lay on my bunk. And
you
I would
just
lay on the
fly
floor
out.
and I'd just be like in the air, it felt like. So I couldn't sleep for my sleeping time, and then my on-watch time I just slept in the library. 'Cause that's the best place. It was like midships and it was super cozy in there. So it was like the weirdest watches and stuff.
The
Like
anti-watch.
I'd get up out of my bunk to go to
That's where I
bed.
slept too.
Yeah, it was a little, everyone would kind of hang out in there and sleep.
So why were you out on the back deck in that weather?
Well, so we were diving in the beginning of the cruise.
Yeah.
And then we knew the weather was coming. We were expecting some weather to come. So I was on watch and I had to make a call to recover. We cut the dive off in the middle, you know, as we saw the weather starting to come up. And then by the time we got to the surface, it was probably blowing 35 or so. And the ship was kind of skating around, so it was a little bit of a challenge to get the ROV on deck. We did that, secured everything. And then, yeah, then we came in, you know, everything was secured. Came inside, called the weather, and then it just decided to come right up. And then it stayed that way for like about a week.
Good thing you recovered when you did.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
Alex.
Well, that's the reason you always
another,
are keeping an eye on the weather
10
all the time.
meters towards the launch. So it's be like a 135
They actually
or so,
closed. We weren't allowed on
126?
deck after that. We weren't allowed anywhere.
We weren't allowed on the back deck, yeah, and
130?
we actually had to go out.
Yeah, let's try
I
a
think
10
we
meter
did
move
go
that
out to
way,
secure a
'cause
few
Herc
things
would be at
because
the
a
end of
couple
its
things
tether.
had broken loose.
So
So we had this
Argus,
whole
like here.
we had this whole meeting about doing that. So we had all the sort of safety measures in place, and I was one of the ones that had to go out on the back deck.
Yeah,
And I
maybe
remember
do
going
15.
out. We ran out. I think it was me and maybe
then that'll kind
Ian
of push
Murdoch,
Argus
and
probably here.
went out to the back deck, secured a bunch of
Then-
stuff, and then I
yeah,
was
we'll
headed
see how
back
that
to the
settles.
door. We had a person stationed at the door. Everyone was like watching, and I remember just seeing this wall of water coming at me. I was like in the middle of the back deck, and I grabbed the ROV with one hand, and I think about a pedestal station in the other, and just put my head down and held on. And this waist-high wall of water hit me.
Oh my
And
god.
just like held on till it went away, and then just ran for the door after that. And so
That's when we
close.
discovered the lab on the ship was not watertight.
That's right. They had this little roll-up door which they blocked with wood, but then the water would come in, so the whole sort of lab space in the back had like 3-4 inches of water just rolling back and forth in it the whole time we were out there. It was a little unnerving. But
Jeez.
yeah, it was, you know, good story time for that one.
And still, you have no sea shanties. That's what they're for.
I'll save those for like Will Sellers. He can do all
Seriously.
those. Yeah. He's the shanty storyteller guy.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's true.
I had a similar experience on the Thompson in basically the same location. But I think I had 9 watches in a row, 9 days of no diving. Same thing, like 60 knot winds. And I think we were a steady 10-meter heave we were measuring on that cruise, and then we were having the big roller come through at 17 meters
Wow.
heave. That was nuts. But same thing, we'd
I'm
take...
going to sign off till we get to the bottom, guys, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
See you later.
Good talking, everybody.
Yeah, nice talking to you. Yeah, there was this staging bay, kind of midship on the Thompson, and a big back deck, and the fantail would go down and scoop up big scoop of water and then come up, and it would roll like a wave, like a foot or two wave down the ship into the staging bay.
You'd have it from all sides.
Oh man, it was crazy.
You can go surfing on your own ship.
Yeah. That was pretty bad. It's hard. It's just, you run out of stuff to do after a few days, but you're still rolling through on your watches. So.
Yeah.
Let's go deal with Mongo here.
When I was in Washington, D.C. recently, I dragged a friend with me to go to this like basement room of some pub to sing sea shanties.
Sounds like you're dying to sing sea shanties, so we're waiting for you.
No, like I don't actually know any. I just thought it would be like a fun like communal thing. But it turned out that it was a bunch of people, like not a bunch. It was like 12 people who are regulars and all know all the songs and all know each other, and we like walk in, and it was like a public thing, but I guess it's not something that people normally go to. So we walked in and they were really nice and welcoming, but it turns out that everybody has to lead one. And we have this whole booklet of sea shanties and their lyrics, and we were like, we don't know any of these. So that was interesting. It was really entertaining, but they all knew them all, and it was a different experience than I thought it would be, but still fun.
Yeah, one of the marine archaeologists that we have out here sometimes, Jim Delgado, he has sung sea shanties on SBL.
That's amazing.
Yes, and he knows a lot of sea shanties.
They're amazing when you know them, you know?
He's got the voice too. He's pretty good with them.
That's exactly, there has to be the voice for it too, you know.
And he's... you could, if you picture what that person would look like, that's him.
Cool.
You could describe him right now, not even know who he is.
It's probably the same person who was filling the room in the sea shanty place.
He's such a great guy. He's really great to work with, so knowledgeable. Yeah, it's really fun to have on board and work with.
I can describe him right now.
You
Not
could.
even knowing.
Go ahead. You do it.
I did know Shenandoah. I know one.
You're
No,
not.
no.
You're talking this up. You're so wanted. Let's go. Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
We still got
Entertain the masses.
another 1.3 kilometers to get down.
Yeah.
Like by the end of this transect down, you're gonna be singing some sea shanty.
You can't even say that.
Thistle.
No, I just wanted Josh to, but he doesn't know any. So
I don't know any sea shanties. And even if I did, I would not be singing them.
If I had the voice, I would sing some.
I think that's an SPL violation, to be honest.
yeah, I think it is too.
Singing on SPL.
I agree.
I think that'd be the only thing on YouTube that they would probably try to mute.
Bunch of screaming cats in here.
Technical. We are currently having technical difficulties.
Oh wait, no.
Stand by.
That's just what that sounds like. Were you guys watching the Meg the other day?
Nope.
Smart of you.
I feel like it's, maybe that's not for SPL. Never mind.
Clamp it down.
How many hockey pucks do you guys think you've used on the tools that are on Herc right now?
Well, at the moment we have 4 that you can see right there. That's all it's on the RV at the moment. We use them for a few different things. We actually use them as, we might even be using some underneath the porch maybe.
I don't think on this.
We use them as giant fender washers.
Yes, I do.
They're great that way. Yeah, you can drill a hole in them and put little, like a threaded nut in there essentially, embedded into the rubber, and then you can go underneath the porch, and then it's really easy to turn because it's got a nice grip.
Look at those guys. So dense.
So you can buy, you can buy a dozen for about 10 or 15 bucks, and one polyurethane round ball, like the ball that's on the temp probe. It's like 30 something.
Yeah, what is that?
35 on McMaster. So.
What is the ball made of again? Or what is it actually for in real life? In alternate real life?
Well, I don't know. You can just buy like those balls. Just the way we drill holes in them and stuff, but you can just buy them. I don't know what people use them. Like we use them for handles. And
garden bowling.
And, yeah.
Garden
but
bowling.
those are like, that one is like $35. You can get, like I said, a dozen for like 10 or 15 bucks. So it's pretty economical to use the hockey pucks.
Now, do you prefer the ball grip or the hockey puck grip?
Hockey puck.
That is definitely a preference thing. Some people like one or the other, and people have very strong opinions about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's your preference?
I've got to the point where I just don't care anymore. And as long as it stays there and it uses a good handle, it's a good handle, then I'm happy.
Just like the hockey pucks?
I do. But
The hockey pucks are good because they don't slip in the jaw.
that's exactly
So
it.
once you grab them, they're not going to twist on you. But sometimes, I know like even with the temp probe, that could be an advantage because if it's at the wrong angle, you don't have to let it go and you can kind of smear it and then get it to twist the way you want without letting it go. So that also could be an advantage.
That's some egg carrying maneuver right there.
A smear is actually a technical manipulation term. That is a real thing.
But it sounds delicate.
No, it's very non-delicate.
So you wouldn't want to use it on an
I
egg.
don't think smear is a delicate word.
Well, I imagined you
Doesn't sound
like
it.
loosening the grip just enough so it moved, but
Yeah, you don't even have to
But-
loosen the grip. You just like push it against something and it rotates it in the jaw.
I see. Never
Yeah.
mind then.
So like I usually use the front lip of the porch and and then the little magnet. So then I'll push it in against there and just push forward, and then that'll change the angle of the temp probe without having to actually
I see.
let go of it.
I imagined you were like making it your grip so light that it could move around but not
You
actually
could.
let go,
You could.
which
you could
would
do that.
be egg-related grip, but
Yeah, you
not
wouldn't-
what you were talking
You wouldn't
about.
quite
at
want to
all.
go to egg level. You'd have maybe just a little bit lower grip first, but yeah, you could do that. Yeah, there's lots of little tricks when especially when you're working on the porch and you've got a lot of toys. You know, you have to you have to manage everything pretty well. If you sort of let things go, like sometimes you'll see the temp probe is not going where you want it to go. You know, sometimes there's a tendency to just be like, forget it, we'll deal with it later. But if you do that, you're going to compound your problems later. And then it just spend even longer trying to get it sorted out. So it's worth kind of that extra few minutes to make sure that all your toys are where they're supposed to be. Got to keep things neat and tidy.
Got to keep your station clean,
Yeah,
like a chef.
gotta have a clean workstation. It's important.
Have you guys used the crowbar of science yet on this?
We haven't.
This couple weeks?
I don't know if it has.
I don't know if it has. No.
It's at the ready.
It
It's
is.
dying to be used.
Trevor even put those nice marks on it.
Yeah, we haven't done any poking either.
I know.
What's going
Well,
on?
what are
Pokey
they
stick of
poking
science.
rocks with? I think just.
Well, yeah, most of the stuff around the vents is in just consolidated material, so it's not really rocks. And then the basalts, I guess
Yeah.
they found them the right size enough just to pick them up. So since we're going to have a similar watch tonight, then I expect when you come back to have a sea shanty ready for us this evening.
Well, as you said, there's no singing on SPL.
Well, we don't have to be an
So-
SPL. You can just do it.
Well, maybe I expect you to.
Hey, you're the one that's brought this up. Don't drag me into this.
I brought it
You're
up
all alone in
for
this
you
venture.
to do it.
Oh.
Because you're the weathered, salty.
Oh, thanks. I'm
experienced
weathered
one.
now. Now I'm not just old. I'm weathered and old. Excellent.
No, I called you weathered before. I never called you old, Josh.
Weathered. Isn't that kind of implied? If you're calling somebody weathered.
No, you could have a lot of rough weather in your
Highly
years
exposed
without
to the elements.
yeah,
Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal.
highly exposed for a short period of time.
Oh man.
I prefer seasoned.
Oh, okay. We'll go with that.
Highly flavored.
Highly flavored. It's grilled to perfection.
Looks like it settled out pretty nicely, Alex. Looks like it's gonna be a good descent.
There you go. Jam it out. See what you got. I might recognize it if I hear it, but. I am, and so I can relay that Jessica is now singing sea shanty.
That's a lie. Spreading lies.
Yeah.